Now, critics have raised. Now, what are the drawbacks? Critics have raised a few criticism against this. So, first is growing unemployment. Though the GDP growth rate has increased in the reform period, but such growth failed to generate sufficient employment opportunity in the country. GDP was improving, but it failed to generate employment opportunity in the country. Okay. Next, the new economic policy has neglected the agriculture sector. Yes, it has neglected. We are seeing only that the industrial sector is improving, trade is improving, service sector is improving. But what about the agriculture sector? Sorry. Reduction of public investment. Public investment in agriculture sector, especially in infrastructure, which includes irrigation, power roads, market linkages, and research and extension, has been reduced in the reform period. Removal of fertilizer subsidy increased the cost of production. Obviously, fertilizer subsidy, if it is removed, it will increase the cost of production, and it affected the marginal and the small farmers, which depend on the subsidies to buy the fertilizers. Public investment in agriculture sector, especially in infrastructure, which leads to irrigation, power roads, market linkage, and research and extension, has been reduced. Public means we will interfere. No. Our investment, no. Investment of the government on these things got reduced in the reform period. Liberalization, reduction in import duties. The sector has been experiencing a number of policy changes, such as reduction in import duties on agriculture products, removal of minimum support price, lifting of quantitative restrictions on agriculture products. All these policies adversely affected the Indian farmers, as they now have to face increased international competition. So this sector experienced a number of policy changes. Like import duties were reduced on agricultural products. When import duties means import taxes are being reduced, that means it will be reduced in all the products. On agriculture products also it was reduced. Minimum support price policy was also reduced, so they did not get the amount of money they required. Lifting of quantitative restrictions on agriculture products. So now, as the quantitative restrictions were removed, thus they had to provide any amount at the prices what was demanded. All these policies adversely affected the Indian farmers. Shift towards cash crop. Due to export oriented policy, the production shifted from food grains to cash crops. It led to rise in the price of food grains. Obviously, when the production is shifting, that was the commercialization from food grains to cash crop. Obviously, in a country whose population is about in crores, obviously if the food grain production is reduced and cash crops are produced for exports, then obviously there will be shortage of food grains, and the prices that is why rose up. Low level of industrial growth. Industrial growth recorded a slowdown due to following reason. Cheaper imported goods. Due to globalization, there was a greater flow of goods and capital from developed countries, and as a result, domestic industries were exposed to imported goods. Cheaper imports replaced the demand for domestic goods, and domestic manufacturers started facing competition from imports. So, due to globalization, what was happening as India was open to the world trade, there was greater flow of foreign goods, foreign capital goods from the developed nations, and the domestic industries were exposed to these cheap imported goods, and thus it replaced the domestic industry goods. Okay, and thus the domestic industry started facing stiff competition from the foreign made goods. Especially we know the Chinese made goods. Okay, those are very lucrative also and low priced also, but we get attracted, right? Low level of industrial growth. If you take the example of Micromax and MI, or Vivo or Oppo only, you take Micromax and Oppo. See, Micromax was an Indian based company and Oppo was a Chinese based company. So do you think, so we have seen that Micromax got vanished. We didn't pay any heed to that company. Okay, we said that those phones have problems, those phones have this and that, huge problems. We got attracted towards Oppo. Why? It's lucrative, camera quality good, our face looks bright and all such things. So we got attracted and see, it's running. And what about Micromax? It got vanished. Next is lack of infrastructural facilities. The infrastructural facilities including power supply have remained inadequate due to lack of investment. Again, investment of government, there is power supply, and it was not adequate, and thus it was another drawback for the industrial growth. Non-tariff barriers. All quota restrictions on exports of textiles and clothing have been removed from India, but some developed countries like USA have not removed their quota restrictions on import of textiles. Okay. So you can see that the restrictions were removed from the exports of on exports of textiles and clothing, but developed countries like USA have not removed their restrictions on import of textiles from India. So that was another drawback. Though we have removed, but USA did not remove. So it was again a drawback for the Indian industry, especially the textile industry, which was one of the most renowned industry of India. Next is ineffective disinvestment policy. The government has always fixed a target of disinvestment of public sector enterprises, the loss-making public sector enterprises. For instance, in 2014-15, the target was 56,000 crore, whereas the achievement was only 34,000 crore. However, according to some scholars, the disinvestment policy of government was not successful. Why? Assets of public sector units were undervalued and sold to the private sector. Okay, so the public sector units assets were undervalued and sold to the private sector. So you can well imagine, means it was not sold in the actual value, it was undervalued and then sold. So obviously the amount will not be recovered. Moreover, such proceeds from disinvestment were used to compensate shortage of government revenues rather than using it for development. So whatever money they got from selling their assets to the private sector, that also in an undervalued way, that they used for the shortage in the government revenues, but not for the development of the PSEs. Okay. Ineffective taxation policy. The tax reduction in the reform period was done to generate larger revenue and to curb tax evasion. We have already that tax reduction was done so that people do not evade taxes, so that they can reveal their original income. But it did not result in increase in tax revenue for the government. Tariff reduction decreased the scope of raising revenue through custom duties. So you can see the tariffs on the imports were lifted up. So no income from there also. Tax incentives provided to foreign investors to attract foreign investment in India. Again, so the scope of generating in revenue from that also got diminished. Okay, so ineffective tax policy. Spread of consumerism. New policy has been encouraging a dangerous trend of consumerism by encouraging the production of luxurious items for the superior consumption. Growth has been concentrated only in some selected areas in the service sector such as telecommunication, information, that is technology, that is IT, finance, entertainment, travel, hospitality, estate, trade, rather than vital sectors such as agriculture, industry, which will provide millions of people livelihood. So unbalanced growth, why? Because the service sector was improving, that also telecommunication, many telecom services came up, IT, finance, malls, entertainment, malls comes under entertainment, hospitals, schools, all these came up. But what about the agriculture and in the industry sector, which provides employment to a huge number of people? That suffered. Goods, the new policy encouraged generally luxurious goods for the superior consumption. So spread of consumerism, unbalanced growth, tax policy was not good, tariffs were reduced, tax incentives were given for foreign direct investment. So these two areas of generating revenue got lifted up. Much revenue did not come from these two parts. Again, tax reduction was given so that people do not hide their income and do not move for tax evasion. So this was so the tax policy was also ineffective. Next day we will move to demonetization and GST. So this is how we can say that the LPG policy was both beneficial as well as disadvantageous. It had got many drawbacks also. Okay, thank you.